G'day! Welcome to a special steampunk episode of Oly35mm, user-based, quasi-empirical, cheap and cheerful videos on Olympus 35mm cameras. Now, you can't see me, but I have a flying helmet on, a set of brass goggles, a leather jacket, I have moleskin jodhpurs, I have thigh-high boots on, and my airship is waiting outside because I have an Olympus LT LeatherTech Zoom 105. Now, I haven't been able to find one of these in Australia, and Carol from Ohio was good enough to convince her husband that he didn't need this anymore, and I managed to pick this up from the US. So thank you very much. Shout out to Carol. Good on you. Thank you for that. It's a really fun camera. Okay, so how do we turn this fella on? And while we're doing that, we'll talk a little bit about it. This camera is one of two of the LeatherTech series. It came out in 1997, and the LT or LeatherTech refers to this faux leather that's actually on the outside and is on the strap. There's an LT1 as well, which has a little leather strap that actually fits across the front, but it has far fewer features than this particular one, which is actually full of a whole pile of features. Carol tells me that when it was originally bought, and I'm not too sure when that was, but probably somewhere in the late 90s, that it was worth about 450 US in there. So that's it was a little bit upmarket. Okay, so it's a rather neat little camera, a 38 to 105 millimeter zoom. It's a f4.5 to 8.9. Built-in flash. Don't hold that flash down, otherwise things will go a little bit pear-shaped on you. So if you want to, standard Olympus, you actually press the flash button twice to turn your flash off, and I hope you can see that there. We have quite a few indicators. On the top we have the date. This is a quartz date one. We have date and time if we particularly want to. Yeah, the amount of exposures that have been taken, your flash setting, and when you first turn it on. In fact, let's turn it off. Yeah. And turn it on again. You'll actually see the battery indicator there as well. It takes a CR123 battery, standard 3-volt battery. Pick them up for about $10, or at least in Australia, about $10 at the supermarket if you wish. So going on, there's several flash settings. I'll keep on explaining this LCD on the top. Several flash settings. There's Auto S, which I'll get to in a moment. There is off. There is fill-in flash from when you want to use it in daylight. And there is just auto flash. Now, Auto S had me scratching my head a little bit. I thought it might have been second shutter or something like that, even though this doesn't have a second shutter as so. But if I read the instructions, it says significantly reduces the phenomenon of red eye. So it's actually a red eye reduction. I don't know why they wouldn't have put an R or a funny little eye on them like they normally do, but that's what it is. On the top, we have not only the flash, but we also have a self-timer, which is probably about 12 seconds. We'll try it in a moment. And also the opportunity for a remote control. Now, I haven't got the remote control for this, so we won't worry about that. On the back, we have a diopter, which is a very nice addition. So those of us that wear glasses, you can actually adjust the diopter so you don't have to put a glassed eye, and that's glassed or glasses, not glass, eye up to the viewfinder, although a glass eye would be quite handy in this whole steampunk episode, I'm sure. There's also a panoramic setting, which I'll show you a little bit later. On the front, we have an indicator for the self-timer, and what the heck, let's turn the self-timer on. We'll just press the button and we'll see how we go. And there's a little light that comes on. I'm guessing it's going to be about 12 seconds, maybe the last couple of seconds are going to flash at us. It will set the focus. Whoa, there we go, and there's your red eye reduction. It'll set the focus and also the shutter speed. Oh, and it turns itself off as well. No, there you go. It's turning itself off because I was actually on the last frame. It's automatically rewinding, and when it finishes, we'll continue on. So when it turns itself off, the only manual thing you have to do is just flip up that funky looking little lens cover. And we'll just wait for it to finish its noise. Beautiful. Okay. And we have the on-off switch there. Which won't do too much because now I don't have a film in there. All right, these things happen. We actually have the light meter hiding underneath here. We have supposedly hiding in there somewhere, and this fella here, 2 autofocus windows. We have the viewfinder as well. Battery compartment. Tripod screw right on the end there, a bit nasty, and a rewind button if you want to rewind through the actual halfway through the roll or something. On the end here we have the back release, and it's one of these backward films. You pop your film in like so, DX coating, and push it across to there. It sometimes is a little bit funny. You have to get it just right before it will actually automatically wind it on. And there's the panorama section, and you can see that there's 2 little frames that come up and down for the panorama. I think in the 90s I never used it, but I think in the 90s you could actually get longer prints. Whether they're still available, I have absolutely no idea. The lens will focus from 0.6 meters, obviously, to infinity. The flash, they tell me at the wide setting with 400 ISO film will reach to 30 feet. I'd like to see it, but yeah, whatever, that's fine. We have a wide and tele, and we actually have markers. If you have a look, I'm looking at it upside down there. See if I can get it in the frame. We actually have markers 38, 60, 80, and 105. Good, reasonable wide angle, I suppose, more standard than it is wide angle, but through to quite a nice little portrait lens. A little bit of obscene there with the sticking out. Doesn't look quite as pretty as it does at the wider setting. There, so that is the Olympus LT Zoom 105, in this case panorama. I love it. I think it's great. It was one of the bizarre models that I promised you in the introductory video that I was going to be reviewing. The image quality is all right. It's not as good as some of them that are out there, but it's certainly not too tardy either, or too shoddy. So look, it's all right. I'm pretty happy with it. I just love the look of it. It's a wonderful talking piece, and look, it is what it is. I'll show you some photographs at the end of this video, and you can make up your own mind. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next review. Bye.